During an interview with Fox News, the unnamed relative of the Duchess of Sussex lashed out at the mother of two and claimed her relatives do not wish to pursue a reconciliation. They said, "We're clearly in different social classes and we won't ever talk again." You shouldn't have to be someone you're not, or a certain class to be accepted and loved. The comments come days after Meghan and Harry welcomed their second child, Lilibet Diana Mountbatten-Windsor. However, Meghan's relative, the rift between the Duchess and her family is her choice and the family has no plans to mend it. They said how her family does not want to chase after someone that doesn't want to talk to them. Meghan and Harry have already been attacked by her family on multiple occasions. Her estranged father, Thomas Markle, and her half-sister Samantha, have both lashed out at the Duchess following her explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey. Samantha accused Meghan of using her mental health struggles as an excuse to treat people like dishrags. She told Inside Edition, "Depression is not an excuse for treating people like dishrags and disposing of them." Mr. Markle also branded Harry snotty and accused him of not properly supporting his daughter while she struggled with suicidal thoughts. He told Good Morning Britain, "It really did upset me. Like I said, it would have been easy for her to reach out to me, any of the rest of her family, who she claims she doesn't know." But the other thing is that I would think that she could turn to her husband. Following the birth of Lilibet, Mr. Markle warned of further damaging revelations in the trailer for a new interview following the birth of his granddaughter. Mr. Markle has given an exclusive interview with 60 Minutes Australia, in which he reveals that he has not spoken to his estranged daughter in 3 years and was not told of Lilibet's birth. The bombshell interview is due to be broadcast on Sunday, June 13. The 40-second trailer shows Thomas Markle asking to be forgiven for his one dumb mistake. He said, "I haven't spoken to her, Meghan, since 2 days before they got married." When asked about the arrival of the couple's baby daughter Lilibet Diana, Thomas Markle claimed he had not been informed of his granddaughter's birth. "No phone calls, I just heard it on the radio." "I'll be very disappointed that I don't get to hold my granddaughter." Prince Harry and Prince Charles are showing signs of reconciliation as the pair are understood to be in regular contact, despite the recent damning accusations made by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The Prince of Wales, 72, is said to be in frequent contact with his youngest son Prince Harry, 36, as the pair work to reconcile their differences. The royal family as a whole is keen to repair relations with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, despite being hurt by some of the allegations made over the past few months, according to an inside source. The source told The Telegraph the pair is in regular contact and their relationship is understood to have turned a corner in recent weeks. The insider added the royal family is keen to patch things over with the Sussexes and bring them back into the fold. The olive branch comes in spite of the many accusations leveled against the firm in recent months, including allegations of racism and abandonment. The Queen will have tea with the U.S. President and the First Lady, Buckingham Palace said upon sharing more details about the Bidens' first meeting with Her Majesty. As previously announced earlier this month, the Queen is to meet U.S. President Joe Biden and the First Lady Dr. Jill Biden for the first time this Sunday. In the run-up to the historic event, Buckingham Palace has shared further details about the meeting. According to the note shared by the palace, the Queen will welcome the President and the First Lady at the dais in the quadrangle of Windsor Castle. Following their arrival to Her Majesty's Berkshire residence, the presidential couple will be given a royal salute. Prince Harry may call the Queen for a chat on the phone today in a bid to extend an olive branch to his grandmother as she marks what would have been Prince Philip's 100th birthday, a royal expert has said. Two months on from the death of her husband, Her Majesty is expected to mark the June 10th birthday in a somber fashion. Brittany Barger, deputy editor of Royal Central, an American website focused on news about the monarchy, suggested the Queen could head to her beloved husband's grave with some flowers on the sad day. The Duke of Edinburgh was interred at St George Chapel Royal Vault in Windsor Castle following his funeral. Lilibet Diana's name is a sweet tribute to the Queen, but it does not mean that the royal family will forget the difficulties of Meghan, according to commentator Joe Drake. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's decision to name their baby daughter Lilibet Diana is a nice tribute to the Queen, but will not erase the events of the last year for members of the royal family. A royal expert says it is going to be so hard for the royal family to forget the Oprah Winfrey interview, in which the Duke and Duchess of Sussex attacked the monarchy. Royal commentator Joe Drake told Us Weekly, obviously, watching that explosive interview with Harry and Meghan, I think it's a nice tribute, but I think it's going to be so hard for people to forget. I think the pomp and circumstance of naming her Lilibet will go away in the coming days, but the interview cloud will linger for a little bit longer. Queen Elizabeth II is personally relieved to be meeting Joe Biden instead of Donald Trump, according to a royal expert, after the former U.S. president's mortal insult. The monarch, 95, is set to host new U.S. President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden at Windsor this week. While Buckingham Palace is the seat of the monarch in normal times, the Queen has been living at Windsor Castle since the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. Mr. Biden, who is in the UK for the G7 meeting in Cornwall, has arrived with a demand that the UK settle its Brexit row over Northern Ireland. The president's press secretary Jen Psaki told reporters last week, "Who among us wouldn't want to meet the Queen?" They issued, of course, a graceful invitation, which he certainly accepted. He's looking forward to seeing her with Dr. Biden as well. Prince Edward opened up on how the Queen and Prince Philip cope with life on lockdown over the past year. Prince Edward spoke candidly about how the lockdown affected his parents. The Earl of Wessex acknowledged the past months have been difficult for members of the firm, who experienced forced distance and separation due to the COVID-19 crisis similarly to other families across Britain and the world. And he also spoke about how he thinks his parents cope with months of self-isolation. Asked during an interview with the BBC how lockdown was for the Queen and Prince Philip, Prince Edward said, "I think they found it really difficult and really quite strange. But thankfully we have phones, we have computers, so we were able to retain a reasonable amount of contact." "We all made the effort and that was the important thing. Everybody did." Prince Charles marked what would have been Prince Philip's 100th birthday with a poignant message. Prince Charles and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, paid tribute to Prince Philip on the day he would have turned 100 by sharing a message on their social media accounts. It read, "Remembering the Duke of Edinburgh, on what would have been his 100th birthday." The message was accompanied by a picture taken in July 2020, during Prince Philip's last ever royal engagement. Despite having retired from public office in August 2017, Prince Philip stepped out in the quadrangle at Windsor Castle to carry out one last duty. On the occasion, the late Duke of Edinburgh passed on his honorary title of Colonel-in-Chief of the Rifles Regiment to Camilla. Prince Philip was born on the Greek island of Corfu on this day in 1921. Prince Philip's close friend said he regretted members of the royal family giving personal interviews and said no good ever comes of it. Back in March, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sat down with Oprah Winfrey for an explosive interview where they made several claims about their time in the firm. Meghan claimed she was close to suicide during her 18 months as a member of the royal family. Since then, Harry has also taken part in a podcast and a documentary series where he has hit out at the royal family. Last month, the Duke of Sussex appeared on the Armchair Expert podcast where he said he does not want to pass on pain from his own experience to his son Archie and future daughter. Prince Edward spoke about the ongoing family feud between Meghan Markle, Prince Harry and the firm in a rare sit-down interview. Prince Edward lifted the lid on how the royal family feels about the split with the Sussexes. Answering candidly to a question probing on the tensions, the Earl of Wessex said the situation is very sad. Prince Edward briefly spoke about Meghan and Harry's daughter, Lilibet Lily Diana, who was born on June 4. In his first public comment about the birth of the 11th great-granddaughter of the Queen, the Earl said, "Fantastic news about the baby, that's great. I hope they'll be very happy." Prince Charles insisted to the Queen that Princess Diana must lose her HRH title, according to reports. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle decided to step down as senior royals, they did not have their HRH taken away, but they were instructed not to use them. Instead, the pair now go by their titles of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Recently, it emerged that Harry's HRH title was removed from a Kensington Palace exhibition featuring Princess Diana's wedding dress. Placards at the Royal Style in the Making exhibition initially described Diana's items as lent by HRH the Duke of Cambridge and HRH the Duke of Sussex. A spokesperson for the Royal Collection Trust said this was an administrative error, and that the labels were incorrect. They added that they will be updated to remove Harry's HRH style. The Queen is upset at being dragged into a further rift between Prince Harry and the royal family on what would have been Prince Philip's 100th birthday today. A palace insider insisted Her Majesty was never asked by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex if they could use her childhood nickname Lilibet for their newborn daughter. But a war of words erupted as their lawyers threatened to sue the BBC and other news bodies for saying that, challenging the palace's view of events. That then pitched Harry against his 95-year-old grandmother, to all intents and purposes. Tensions building behind the scenes flared up into a full-scale public row, after the broadcaster reported a palace source as saying that the prince and his American wife had not asked the Queen about the names they wanted for their daughter. Meghan, 39, had given birth to Lilibet Lily Diana Mountbatten Windsor at a hospital in Santa Barbara, California last Friday. Prince William was reportedly furious with his father Prince Charles after he shared some personal details about his eldest grandson Prince George, which could explain why the Prince of Wales only subtly mentioned the newest addition to his family, Lilibet, in public this week. William is renowned for being very protective over his 3 children, and regularly draws a line between his public life and what he is willing to share with the media. Charles, however, has been more forthcoming with details about his grandchildren in the past, to his eldest son's displeasure. As the firm celebrated Harry becoming a father for the second time, following the arrival of Lilibet Diana last Friday, royal watchers were waiting to see how the Prince of Wales addressed the latest addition to his family. On his shared social media accounts with the Duchess of Cornwall, Charles wrote congratulations to Harry, Meghan and Archie on the arrival of baby Lilibet Diana. Wishing them all well at this time.